Welcome everyone to another episode of How to Make Money in Stocks with Investors Business Daily. We want to let you know that the July issue of the free IBD Extra newsletter is now out, and in there we have an article about how to get ready and handle the Q2 earnings season.
And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is IPOs.
Yes.
I'm always on the prowl for those exciting new companies, and we actually have some companies that are really worth talking about.
Definitely.
So that is very exciting. That's what's on today's show. But first, let's take a look at the market.
Amy's on the road this weekend, but she'll be back on in a minute for a segment that we recorded earlier in the week on new and upcoming IPOs. The market closed higher for the third straight week and showed resilience in the face of the Bank of England's decision not to change interest rates and the horrific terrorist attack in France. The Nasdaq is up around 9% since the close on June 27th, and it's now back above the 5,000 mark. It was unable to clear that psychological benchmark back in April and in June. So the question now is, will the Nasdaq hold that mark and turn it into a new area of support, or will that seesaw action that we've seen a lot of recently rear its ugly head once more? That will ride to a large degree on how Q2 earnings season plays out, and it's starting to heat up. This is a very condensed list of the many stocks that are reporting next week. We have Bank of America and other financial stocks, Netflix, Intel, homebuilder D.R. Horton, and many others. So be sure to check the earnings calendar in this week's issue of IBD for more names. A number of IBD 50 stocks like Facebook, Edwards Life Sciences, and Vantiv are forming bases or are in a buy zone ahead of earnings. And since the market has been taking on a more confident tone, you want to make sure that you're doing your homework and ready to take action if a top name reports well and breaks out. A quick way to do that is to go to the stock list tab on investors.com and check out the names on screens like the IBD 50, sector leaders, and stock spotlight. Another thing to keep in mind, several leading stocks like Acacia Communications, Ulta Beauty, and Align Technology have broken out and have now hit or pushed right through a potential 20 to 25% profit-taking zone. If you own a stock in that position, at least consider taking some profits. You don't necessarily have to sell, but at least weigh the pros and the cons of holding versus selling. And if you do hold, have defensive sell prices in mind so you avoid giving back all of your gains. The big IPO of the week was from Japanese messaging service Line. We'll talk more about that in the next segment, which we recorded before it started trading on Thursday. The stock gave back a lot of its first day gains, then closed lower on Friday. But the company has shown impressive earnings and sales growth and posted over $300 million in revenue last quarter. Line has not yet announced a date for its next earnings report, but that will definitely be something to watch. So the takeaway for this week is that earnings season is heating up, several leaders are in or near buy zones, and the tone of the market has improved, but a pullback at this point would not be unusual. So while you want to remain careful and nimble, now is definitely the time to be on the hunt and doing your research. And you'll find an investing action plan, stock lists, and other resources to help you do that on our site at investors.com/investingshow. Well, several IPOs have been doing pretty well recently, so today we want to take a look at some of those and find out how to track the top performers on investors.com and find those that are potentially near a buy point.
Oh, definitely. It's encouraging to see these IPOs doing well in the current market, and we had kind of a slow period or a lull. Currently, this shows that there's more confidence by leading underwriters to bring companies public.
Right.
So let's review how to find the IPO leader screen on investors.com.
And we should note here, too, that we're recording this on Wednesday, a little bit early. So
because I'm out again.
Right,
This time
so
I'm to Providence.
That's right. Now, they may change a little bit. The stocks we're talking about may change a little bit on Thursday and Friday. But you can find the screen, the IPO Leaders screen, under the Stock List tab on investors.com. Go ahead and click on IPO Leaders, and on the page that appears, you'll find a related article that highlights the top IPOs. And below that, you'll find the actual list of stocks that make the IPO leaders list. And if you click on any of those tickers, you'll see a page, and below the chart that appears, you'll find a one-line analysis with alerts to any bases, buy points, sell points as well. And you can use these arrows above the chart to scroll through other stocks in the IPO leaders screen.
Okay, now Inogen came public in February 2014, and it provides portable oxygen technology. The idea here is, Matt, these units are lighter. It makes it easier for patients to take the oxygen with them. It frees them up from lugging around those heavy tanks.
That'd be nice.
So the stock is currently in buying range from a cup with handle base. Remember, we are recording this on Wednesday, but this is a travel week for me. Also keep in mind that newer issues can be more volatile, so be sure to keep those sell rules in place.
Very important point. Now, Acacia Communications is another recent IPO that's worth watching. It went public in May and is in the fast-growing cloud infrastructure business, where it develops high-speed interconnect modules to speed up streaming and mobile apps. Cotiviti is another recent IPO to keep an eye on. It provides solutions to help major healthcare companies ensure accurate payments. Now, it's posted 2 straight quarters of triple-digit earnings growth, and it's scheduled to report again in early August.
Twilio is another newer name. The cloud-based communications company priced June 22nd. It had its IPO priced at 15. It popped 92% on its first day
like
of
back
trading.
In the 90s kind of thing, right?
That was fun. It's been up 4 weeks in a row, although it has yet to form a base. But this is definitely one for your watch list.
We also have 2 major food service companies that have gone public recently. U.S. Foods, which had its IPO in May, and Performance Food Group, which went public last October. Both of these are very large companies that are already generating billions of dollars in revenue each quarter.
And there are a few IPOs that have yet to come public, but they certainly look interesting. The first one is Line. This is a Japanese messaging app that allows mobile users to communicate through instant messaging and voice and video calls.
Little side note there for me. We used that when we went to Japan, my family and I. My wife is Japanese, and everybody here in Southern California who's Japanese seems to be using that Line app.
That's right. For those of you that don't know, Matt speaks fluent Japanese. So he lived in Japan for how many years? 10, 12?
About 10 years.
10 years. So yeah, he knew about this company and actually alerted me to this company. So the company has 218 million active users, and its 4 largest markets include Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, and Indonesia. Now, it will compete with instant messaging providers such as WhatsApp, that's big in Europe, and we have Messenger from Facebook, as well as WeChat from Tencent Holdings. Now, Jessica Alba's Honest Company, known for organic goods. They've got the soaps, they've got the baby diapers, they've got sunscreen.
And they've got Jessica Alba.
Yeah, they do have Jessica Alba. The company had $275 million in revenue last year, and that is a healthy uptick from $150 million in revenue reported in 2014. Another company that's supposed to make its IPO is Uber.
Yes.
I'm going to use Uber.
That's going to be a big one.
You've used Uber, right?
Sure.
I'm going to use Uber for the first time in Providence. I'm going to go see the Breakers mansions, all those in Newport, so I'm going to use Uber to get there.
Yeah, we've been using Uber and Airbnb, too, just to kind of check out that whole sharing economy. It's quite interesting. Now, you want to keep in mind that new IPOs can be very volatile, and the best time to buy is after that IPO has already formed its first base and breaks out.
But these newer companies are often... Yes, we need to be careful, but they're often the market's biggest winners if you capture the right ones. So definitely keep digging and looking for these.
Now, before we wrap up, be sure to go to investors.com/investing show, and you can see the IPO leaders list that we talked about earlier in the show, and also check out the IBD Extra free newsletter.
Okay, see you next week, everybody.